The world doesn't reward those who deserve wealth. It rewards those who understand how power, perception, and leverage work. The poor believe money comes from effort. The rich know money comes from position. The difference is subtle, but fatal for most. You can work yourself to death and still remain a slave. Because effort, without strategy, only feeds the empire of others. Before we go deeper, hit subscribe. Because what you're about to learn won't just change how you see money, it'll change how you play the entire game. Comment, "I refuse to stay broke," if you're ready to rise above the system. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. In every kingdom, there were men who worked harder than the prince and still died in poverty. The prince didn't need to lift a sword, he only needed to control the swords of others. That is the first law of wealth. Control is worth more than labor. You think you need luck. You think you need talent. No, you need leverage. You need systems that work while you sleep. You need to understand human nature so deeply that people move according to your design without realizing it. That's what separates the rich from the rest. They manipulate forces you can't even see. They shape attention, belief, and flow of resources like invisible currents of the sea. To get rich without luck, you must destroy the idea that money is earned. Money is taken, not by theft, but by intelligence. Every great fortune begins with one thought: how can I capture value instead of chasing it? The beggar asks for help. The rich man creates systems where help flows to him naturally. If you understand this, you'll never look at the world the same way again. You've been conditioned to believe in fairness. But fairness is a myth. Power bends fairness into its own image. The rich aren't better, they're bolder. They break the invisible rules everyone else is too afraid to test. They take the risks that others won't even think about. They're willing to look stupid, to fail, to be hated, to lose sleep, until the game flips in their favor. You can't become wealthy if you fear being disliked. Popularity is the enemy of power. Look around you. The modern world is built on illusions. Social media teaches you to show off instead of to build. Schools teach obedience instead of strategy. Jobs teach repetition instead of leverage. That's why the system needs you poor. It needs you distracted, emotional, and reactive. Because a reactive man will trade his time for security, and the man who controls the security controls him completely. Machiavelli would tell you this: if you wish to be rich, you must learn to think like a prince in a world of peasants. Every peasant thinks in terms of work. Every prince thinks in terms of power. The poor man asks, "How can I earn more?" The rich man asks, "How can I make others work for my system?" The poor man sells his time. The rich man sells outcomes. Wealth without luck is a science of control. It starts in the mind. Before you ever make your first dollar, you must eliminate weakness. Weakness in thought, weakness in emotion, weakness in attachment. Because the world will test you the moment it senses hesitation. Most people lose not because they lack opportunity, but because they can't hold tension long enough to seize it. They panic, they doubt, they retreat. The ones who win are the ones who can stay calm while everyone else shakes. To build wealth, you must embrace delayed gratification so brutally that it feels like war. Every dopamine hit you deny yourself becomes a weapon. Every hour you invest instead of waste builds invisible capital. Machiavelli said, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Today, look at your environment. If you're surrounded by consumers, you will become one. If you're surrounded by creators, your mind will sharpen like a blade. You don't need luck. You need clarity. The rich man's luck is his preparation colliding with opportunity. People call it luck because they don't see the hours of solitude behind the scenes. They don't see the isolation, the rejection, the obsession with improvement. They only see the result and label it unfair. But life isn't unfair. It's just structured around the strong. Machiavelli knew that strength wasn't about muscles. It was about mind. He advised princes to appear virtuous, but act strategically. That's the same principle that builds wealth today. Appear like everyone else, but think differently. Smile while you plan. Listen while others talk. Act when the timing is right. The man who moves first looks desperate. The man who moves last looks wise. The rich don't rush, they position. So how do you get rich without luck? You identify leverage points. You build digital systems that work 24/7. You create content, products, or assets that multiply. The internet is the new empire, and attention is the new gold. Every second, billions of eyes are looking for something to consume. The man who controls attention controls income. The man who understands psychology controls the attention. The man who controls emotion controls the psychology. Learn to touch emotion, and the world will pay you to feel it. You see, wealth is psychological warfare. The poor play defense. The rich play offense. The poor react to prices. The rich manipulate them. The poor think in terms of survival. The rich think in terms of dominance. That's why even when the rich lose, they recover fast, because they understand cycles, not moments. If you want to escape poverty, stop thinking like a survivor. Start thinking like a strategist. You don't need a trust fund to start. You need discipline so sharp it slices through distraction. You need an identity that refuses to play small. The reason most people never get rich isn't because they don't know what to do. It's because they can't stay consistent long enough to do it. They keep restarting. They keep doubting. They let emotions reset their progress. You must become immune to that. Stoic in discipline, Machiavellian in execution. In every era, there are men who rise from nothing. They're not lucky, they're precise. They know when to disappear and when to strike. They know that power grows in silence. You'll never meet a truly rich man who talks more than he listens. Words are cheap. Action is leverage. Noise is distraction. Focus is dominance. Detach from the illusions that keep you broke. Detach from comfort. Detach from the need to be seen. Let your results make the noise. Machiavelli said, never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. Apply that to your own mind. Stop trying to motivate yourself with force. Motivate yourself with identity. You're not chasing wealth. You're becoming someone wealth can't resist. When you think this way, the world bends. You begin to attract opportunities you once thought were miracles. But they're not miracles. They're mathematical results of a new identity. The person you are now cannot handle wealth. That's why it's not coming. The version of you who can must be built intentionally, through pain, repetition, and cold analysis. You must become so disciplined that comfort disgusts you, so strategic that failure teaches you, so focused that distractions feel like betrayal. You don't chase money, you build gravity. You create such mass in your character, your skills, and your vision that money has no choice but to orbit you. That's the true essence of Machiavellian wealth. The prince doesn't beg for power, he becomes the center of it. Don't misunderstand, this isn't about greed, it's about freedom. The man without money has no voice. He is owned by circumstance. The man with wealth owns his choices. He can protect his family, buy time, and design his destiny. Money isn't evil, it's a mirror. It amplifies who you already are. If you're disciplined, money multiplies your impact. If you're chaotic, money multiplies your chaos. So build yourself first. There will be nights when you question everything, when progress feels invisible. That's the test. That's when 99% of people quit and the 1% rise. Remember this, the world always rewards those who persist beyond reason. The secret isn't intelligence, it's endurance. It's the ability to stay in the game long after others leave the field. The pain you feel is the toll to enter the kingdom. Every sacrifice is a brick in your future empire. Machiavelli said, "He who builds on the people builds on the mud." Stop building on the opinions of others. Build on your vision. Build systems that serve your mind, not emotions. Money flows where structure lives. The poor chase feelings. The rich build frameworks. Everything you want is on the other side of discomfort. Every moment you choose growth over pleasure, you are stealing power back from the system that wants you docile. You are creating your own renaissance. Remember this, wealth is not given, it's conquered, and the war is fought inside you first. Wealth begins in silence, in the early hours when no one is watching, when the world sleeps, and your mind whispers doubts. That's when you either forge your empire or destroy it. The poor man runs from those moments. The rich man lives for them because he knows every second of solitude is another brick in his fortress. Discipline, not inspiration, is the foundation of freedom. Machiavelli wrote that, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." In wealth, this translates to respect. You must make the marketplace respect you. Your presence should command attention, not beg for it. The moment you start chasing validation, you lose leverage. The rich man knows his value. He doesn't scream it, he positions it. Confidence without words. This is the invisible weapon of the self-made. Understand this deeply. The economy rewards psychology, not effort. Two men can work the same hours, yet one becomes rich while the other drowns in bills. The difference lies in how they think about value. The poor man trades his time for money. The rich man trades value for scalability. He builds something once and sells it infinite times. He builds systems that detach effort from income. That's not luck, that's architecture. You want to escape the rat race? Stop running on someone else's wheel. Build your own. Learn how to create leverage through digital systems, businesses, automation, investments, or content that works while you rest. The rich man doesn't work less because he's lazy. He works less because he designed a system that multiplies his decisions. That's what Machiavelli meant by ruling through influence, not presence. Rule the system, not the routine. But none of this works if your emotions control you. The modern world is engineered to make you impulsive. Every notification is a trap. Every trend is a chain. Every distraction steals a piece of your potential. You must learn the art of emotional coldness, not in cruelty, but in control. A rich mind is a calm mind. A calm mind sees opportunity where chaos blinds others. You can't build empires with shaky hands. People will not support you at first. They will laugh, criticize, misunderstand you. Let them. Their opinions are part of the test. Every prince in history was mocked before he was crowned. The world tests your conviction before it gives you control. If their doubt stops you, you were never ready to rule anyway. So thank your critics. They reveal your weakness. Without them, you'd never sharpen your edge. Getting rich without luck requires seeing reality without illusion. Most people lie to themselves. They say, "I'm waiting for the right time." But there's no right time. There's only now, and now is expensive. Every day you wait, someone else builds leverage while you consume. The clock is the most ruthless king of all, and it punishes indecision more than failure. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be progressing. Machiavelli understood that control over perception is control over destiny. The same applies to money. People buy stories, not products. They follow emotions, not logic. You must learn to communicate with precision. Whether it's in business, influence, or branding, your words are weapons. Make people feel something they can't ignore. Master persuasion and wealth will chase you. The man who controls emotion controls the economy. But persuasion begins with inner authority. You can't convince others if you haven't convinced yourself. Believe in your future so fiercely that doubt feels like betrayal. Speak your goals as facts. Move as if you already own them. The world follows certainty like moths to flame. Every empire begins with one man who refused to act uncertain. The next step is mastery. Most people dabble, they taste everything, but master nothing. You must go deep. Depth creates dominance. When you understand one thing better than 99% of the world, you will never go hungry. That's Machiavellian wealth, controlling a domain so tightly that others depend on you for it. Dependency equals power. Power equals profit. Be ruthless with your time. Every second is a soldier in your army. If you waste them, your empire weakens. Say no more often. Detach from social noise. Every no is an investment in your vision. The rich man's calendar is sacred. The poor man's is chaos. You can't complain about poverty if your schedule is ruled by comfort. Build momentum through small wins. People overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. The first months will feel invisible. That's good. That's when you're building roots, not leaves. The tree that grows slow stands the longest. But you must be consistent. You must show up even when nothing shows up for you. That's how destiny is built. Quietly, persistently, relentlessly. Now let's talk about relationships. They can make or destroy your wealth. Machiavelli advised rulers to avoid dependence on anyone they cannot control. In your journey, understand this. Loyalty fades when interests change. Align with people who share your mission, not your mood. Build alliances based on mutual gain, not comfort. The wrong partner can burn your empire faster than any enemy. Never reveal all your moves. Silence is wealth's first shield. The rich don't announce, they execute. Every time you expose your plans, you invite sabotage. Mystery creates respect. Secrecy creates leverage. Let results speak while you disappear into strategy. The loudest in the room rarely lasts the longest. You will face loneliness. Success is isolation before celebration. While others party, you build. While others gossip, you plan. While others sleep, you evolve. But one day, those same people will call you lucky. They won't understand the sleepless nights, the rejections, the losses you endured. They will only see the crown, not the scars beneath it. Wear those scars proudly. They are proof that you refuse to stay ordinary. Machiavelli warned that fortune favors the bold, not the reckless, but the decisive. Life will never hand you wealth neatly wrapped. You must take it by force of will. Decide what you want and move relentlessly toward it. The universe bends to consistency. The man who moves every day, even one step, will surpass the genius who moves once a month. Momentum beats motivation. Consistency beats luck. So what does getting rich really mean? It's not about owning things. It's about owning yourself. It's about reaching a level where no one dictates how you live, where your time is yours, your peace is yours, your destiny is yours. That's real wealth. Money is just the armor that protects it. Build something that matters. Don't chase trends. Build systems that outlive you. Create value so undeniable that the world can't ignore you. Don't aim to impress, aim to influence. Don't aim to fit in. Aim to dominate your lane so deeply that competition becomes irrelevant. The poor think about cost. The rich think about value. Always choose value. Your journey will break you before it builds you. You will lose money, friends, and sometimes faith. But each loss will carve out the parts of you that were weak. Pain is the price of evolution. Don't run from it, use it. Every failure is a map to your next level. Learn, adapt, rise again. That's the Machiavellian path. Cold, rational, unstoppable. One day when your name stands above the noise, you'll realize it was never about luck. It was never about talent. It was about strategy, endurance, and refusal to quit. You played the long game while others played the fast one. You learned to control yourself, and by doing so, you controlled the game. Remember, money is a consequence of power, and power is a consequence of clarity. The clearer your vision, the faster the world aligns to it. Don't beg the universe to bless you. Command it through action, belief, and patience. The rich don't wait for permission. They take what others hesitate to reach for. You are not destined to stay broke. You are simply untrained in the laws of power. Train your mind to think in leverage. Train your emotions to stay calm under chaos. Train your actions to move with precision. And soon you won't need to chase wealth. It will start chasing you. Because the man who controls himself controls everything. And that, Machiavelli would say, is the highest form of fortune.